A very good afternoon to everyone. It's great to have all of you that here today. Thank you for joining in. I'm your host, Gopika, part of the business engagement and solutions team here at Goodera. At Goodera, we have been in the doing good space for 8 strong years now, and we essentially work on three major pillars. We are proud partners of more than 10,000 nonprofits globally. So for today's webinar, leading through change towards a sustainable future, we are excited to have a panel of esteemed CSR experts with us here today. And we at Goodera have also been running, volunteering events on sustainability environment with the help of strong nonprofits in this space. Before I introduced our panelists, we have a short poll coming up on your screens now. Please plug in your answers. Without further ado, we have Shweta Ramdas. She leads various sustainability initiatives as part of Amazon's climate pledge across renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable transportation, sustainable packing, water conservation, and circular economy. Thank you for joining us, Shweta.
Thank you, Gopika. Pleasure to be here.
We also have Christopher Anthony, Director of External Relations at Tuvacum. Christopher handles corporates, government, and institutional partnerships besides marketing and communications for Tuvacum, a nonprofit organization from Chennai. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you, Gopika. It's my pleasure.
Great. I would now like to invite our speakers to say a few words about themselves and tell us about the work that they're doing to champion the cause of sustainability. Shweta, just starting, with you. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Gopika. I think you did. I think you couldn't have said it better. Thanks for the introduction. I think a lot of it was covered in there. I do lead sustainability for Amazon India operations, and I must say, it is an extremely fulfilling job. Just knowing the kind of impact that the work that me and the team does on a daily basis is having on the larger, planet and the world. So very, very gratifying, very exciting as well. I think there is so much potential for businesses like ours to really move the needle on sustainability and address climate change. So just a great space to be in, and I'm looking forward to today's discussion. Thanks.
Welcome, Shweta. Christopher, over to you.
Hi. Okay. First, good evening, everyone. My name is Christopher. I'm taking care of external relation to Tuvacum. First, I'm just an engineering graduate. Started working in the year 2016. I've been part of corporate. I've been part of design teams. And from 2015, I have been part of Tuvacum as a volunteer. Through my friends, came to know about Tuvacum. Only from last September, I have joined full time as a Tuvacum employee. Till that, it will be entirely a volunteering journey. I was in in a huge corporate in a design team. As the time comes, I thought this is the need which is give meaning to my life. So that time I just quit my corporate job and started working as a full time from Tuvacum. Since I was being able to be here from the leading side, I was able to handle corporate relationship as well as government relationship. In Tuvacum, the good thing about Tuvacum, starting from myself as a founder, our founder is Mr. Krishnakumar Suresh, and every 1 year, we have been a very young team. We have been working on different organizations, and we have just quit our jobs and we joined it for a cause. The cause which we was focusing on is to be the change. So we just want to start the change from ourselves. So that is the thing. That is the small thing which made us to start this journey in Tuvacum. I hope this is just a start from as a youngsters, and this is just a start from my side. And I hope myself and my entire team, along with great people like you all, we can able to make a great change in this world. Thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Christopher. Definitely, I'm sure it's very, very inspiring for our audiences as well, to move from corporate to really working towards a goal that you're really passionate about. So, thank you so much. Great. Moving on to what essentially we have today in store as part of the webinar, we have, curated certain questions for our panelists. And in terms of flow, of course, we'll speak a bit more, deep dive more into understanding the strategy, both from the corporate side and the nonprofit side when we talk of this issue. Post this, we'll, also open the floor for questions to our audiences. So would request all our audiences to gear up, have some questions ready for our panelists. Just diving into the next session of the questions that we have for our panelists. So the first question is for Shweta. Essentially, how is Amazon as an industry leader embracing sustainability to drive new value to their business?
Thanks, Kapil. And that's a very pertinent question. At Amazon, we are really committed to leveraging our scale. And we look at using that scale and to create impact and to build a sustainable organization. We have businesses across the globe, and all of them are aggressively working towards protecting the planet through our sustainability goals and commitments. One key goal that you might have heard of is the Climate Pledge, which underscores our resolve to continue to operate responsibly towards our environment. This resolve is not just something that came out of thin air. It's really driven by science. And we all know that the science is telling us that we are rapidly approaching a closing window of opportunity for climate action. And that the impetus for all of us to stay below the predicted 1.5 degrees Celsius global temperature rise is more urgent than ever. By setting ourselves ambitious challenges, we're forcing ourselves to rethink our business strategies and priorities. And all of this in turn feeds into our innovation flywheel. We leverage technology extensively to address our environmental and social challenges. And to give you an example, from an India context, we have a number of programs like Amazon Saheli, which really raises the bar on gender equality and women empowerment by bringing women entrepreneurs online. We have Amazon Karigar, which is helping revive Indian art and handicrafts and brings nearly 150,000 weavers and artisan households online. By onboarding Kirana store owners through our I Have Space program, we have enabled these store owners to really supplement their income and generate more footfalls. So you really get the message that I'm saying is that our commitment towards sustainability is really helping us innovate through programs like I've just described. We really recognize that a combination of big and bold commitments and everyday action is critical to addressing this crisis of climate change. We also know that these commitments and actions have the power not only to address the crisis, but also to create a more livable and a breathable planet with better jobs and increased economic development. And at Amazon, we really want to be at the heart of all this change. And we're starting with actions that we're taking within our company, but we're also looking to extend these solutions to our customers, suppliers, vendors, sellers, and beyond.
Great. Very, very interesting to see how an industry leader, especially in this e-commerce space, which is growing so extensively and still is very new, is, thinking about how can we reach the last mile beneficiary in terms of the trickle down effect of your overall strategy. So that's very, very inspiring. Thank you. Great. Just the same question for you, Christopher. From the point of view of Tovacom, has there been a recent visible shift in the way, say, the industry leaders are embracing sustainability to drive new value for their businesses? What is your take on this?
So recently, for the past like 3-4 years, we have been able to see a lot of huge changes because the CSR initiatives and the sustainability initiatives which companies are taking before that, like something around like 10 years before, is entirely different because there's a mandatory rule that the companies has to spend the CSR amounts and all those things. But the last 5 or 6 years, the things has changed. There have been very good leaders. There will or the top management of the companies. They want to add value to what they're doing. So they are looking for the impact on what they are spending it out. And also the thing is like they are driving the change from their level. That is which is very important. The leaders are just coming, they are just coming on directly to the field. They're checking it out and they can able to understand what is the reality between the practical as well as the thing which is comes in the CSR policy. They are able to adapt the things which we have been giving the suggestions and everything. So that is we as NGOs, we have more space for us to express the reality of situations in the on-field situations, and the current leaders are working on that, and they're understanding it and taking it forward. And also, it is not about doing the projects as outside the organization; they are driving the change from inside the organization. Starting from small things, they are changing from starting like removing the paper cups, encouraging the employees to be to carpoolings and all those things. That is what the future needs, because as the change, as Tokam always says, they are being the change and they are being an example of the change, and they are driving the entire space of social sector to the next level.
Definitely. Totally agree on that. Also interesting how, of course, we're taking the viewpoint of different, so a corporate and a non-profit, but how similar some of the points were here. So very interesting to see that. Great. Just moving on to the next question of the webinar. So what does sustainability CSR mean for Amazon, Shweta? And to what extent is it a key component of your business strategy? So of course you spoke about, the multiple projects that are running, but what would love to hear your point of view on this.
Yeah, Gopika, and I'll comment on the sustainability part, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we're really committed and invested in sustainability. And one of the key reasons we do this is because we believe it's also a triple win all around, right? It's good for business, it's good for the planet, and it's good for our stakeholders, namely our customers, our employees, communities, and vendors and sellers. And at Amazon, the way that we approach this is in two ways, right? First, we believe in driving change within our own businesses and within our value chain. And the way that we do this is we focus on some key pillars. Pillars that would really move the needle on decarbonization, which has a direct correlation on the overall impact on the climate. Renewable energy is one such pillar. We are on an accelerated path to power all our global operations with 100% renewable energy by 2025. And this is 5 years ahead of our initially claimed target of 2030. So we're making significant investments in clean energy through deployment of on-site and off-site renewable energy projects. And many of us who follow the news would have seen that Amazon is the world's largest corporate buyer of renewable energy. That really underscores our commitment to this. And we've kind of totaled around almost 12 gigawatts of power till date, spanning across almost 274 projects globally and counting. Another key lever, and you can probably see that little truck at the back. It's actually my son's, nothing to do with what I'm doing, but with Amazon. But transportation is a very key lever for us. We are transforming our transportation network around the world by inventing new electrification solutions, and we use alternate delivery methods. We currently operate hundreds of electric vehicles worldwide, including India, and we have invested in electric vehicle charging stations for all our partners to use, and we have plans to expand this infrastructure further. In Jan of 2020, we announced that we would include nearly 10,000 EVs in our Indian delivery fleet by 2025, with the aim of reducing carbon emissions and subsequently minimizing the environmental impact of our delivery operations. And one of the really nice things of this is that, in line with the government of India's Make in India initiative, we have been working with several Indian OEMs to build a fleet of vehicles that really ensure our sustainability goals and ensures that the deliveries are made safe to our customers. And we continue to explore these opportunities with Indian OEMs to further expand our fleet. The third pillar, and something that all of us I'm hoping Amazon customers would have observed, is packaging. And packaging has remained at the forefront of our commitment towards building a supply chain through which we can delight our customers while also minimizing the environmental impact. And in India specifically, we have strengthened our commitment towards sustainability in packaging in a number of ways. We've eliminated single-use plastic from packaging in our fulfillment network. We've introduced packaging-free shipment, a very unique program solution in which customer orders are shipped in their original packaging without the need for any additional packaging or significantly reduced packaging. Through our order consolidation system at our fulfillment centers, we are able to consolidate multiple customer orders and send them all in one package if the customer desires so. Again, reducing packaging wherever possible. And finally, we also we leverage technology and we leverage machine learning algorithms to arrive at the best packaging choices for any delivery. You talked about water in your introduction, Gopika, and that is a very, very key pillar. We are in a water-stressed region. And as part of our commitment to conserve and use the water resources that are available to us, we've also implemented multiple initiatives that reduces, eliminates, and reuses water in our operations. And the second way, so this is all internally focused. Another way that we're also creating impact is we're serving as a catalyst and sending signals into the market to drive a faster transition to a lower carbon economy. And to this effect, we created the Climate Pledge Fund. It's a $2 billion investment that supports the development of technologies and services that help reduce carbon emissions. In 2019, we became the first signatory of the Climate Pledge, through which we have committed to be net zero carbon across all our businesses. And this is a decade ahead of the Paris Accords goal of 2050. And as a testament to what collaboration can yield, today we have nearly 300 companies that have also signed the Climate Pledge and committed themselves to three key things: to measure and report their greenhouse gases regularly, to implement real decarbonization strategies through changes and innovations in their business, and finally, to neutralize any remaining emissions through quantifiable, real, and socially beneficial carbon offsets. We've also served as a founding participant in the LEAF Coalition, and that's a public-private initiative that aims to raise nearly $1 billion to protect the world's tropical rainforests. So it's through a mix of both internal as well as external facing initiatives that we're really driving change through our sustainability programs.
Yeah, that is extremely inspiring. And I think inspiring is a small word for it, at how much change a single organization can drive. Of course, the size of Amazon is huge, but just, based on intention, that's the amount that, we can, as one organization, drive. So that's extremely, extremely inspiring. Just the same for you as well, Christopher. What does sustainability mean for Thuvakam? And what do organizations need to take in order to lead, to bring sustainability into the spotlight?
Yeah, Gupta. First, it's been great to know so much of work done by Amazon. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all the insights about that, because the impact your team is creating is very huge. So comparatively, the Thuvakam sustainability is what we, like as an NGO, it is what the base of our organization is. So we are trying our best to do a small impact starting from a small period. So sustainability is not something here buzzword or something which is new to everyone. Like this is part of everyone's life. It should be start from everyone. As from Thuvakam point of view, we will we are working or we will frame our projects, the things which we do, all the events which we do, we make sure it is sustainable. Because we just want to do something it for a one time or something. Because when we are doing something, it should be impact even for our generation or even for the next generation. So starting from our pre-plantation initiatives to the various initiatives which we are doing, that we make sure that creates a longer term of impacts. So we will even in the initial stage itself, we will start working on creating the projects in such a way it can be implemented, and it as well as it can be taken to the next level, and it can be continued for the future. So that is how our goals are. Even when we are proposing something to the corporates, we make sure that in order to take it sustainable, these things has to be done. It is not going to be like single time event. It has to be done for the next 2-3 years in order to give an exact results for a particular project. So that only then the exact meaning of sustainability is achieved. So we focus more on that. All our one of the major project we do is like urban forestry. We do it one. It's not just a plantation even. It is something which we do it and we maintain it for the next 3 years. So within that 3 years, the plant grows and it becomes self-sustained. And we do even called kitchen garden inside school premises, and we teach kids to take care of it, and they will be maintaining it, and they will get the yield. Again, they will be using the seeds and everything to start the next garden. So a sustainable cycle is formed. So every project what we focus on, we always focus on having it in a sustainable way. Adding to this, what we do is, for in our organization, we will try to we have been trying to give as much as sustainable ideas to our employees as well, because it is not about sustainability is something, it is not about which we are doing it outside. It has to be done from our home, even from our individuals. So we encourage our employees to do that, and we will support them in a small way in what they can able to do it. Like you having teaching them how to do waste disposals, how to prepare the small menus, kitchen gardens, so how to save electricities. So that has been done inside an organization, as well as we are teaching these DIYs to even to the other corporates and organizations who have been you have been partnering with us. So what I feel is starting from our organization to any other organization, we are focusing on a lot of projects which we are working on sustainability and different global impacts. But the thing is, like, one of the major area we have to focus on, like as an employee is sustainable, having a sustainable lifestyle. So we have to like the top management has to come up with an ideas on how can they can able to give them a space for every employee to have a sustainable lifestyle. They should be having a different sessions on how they can have a small things they can able to save in their life, which they will make them a responsible citizen as well as a responsible human being. So this is if everyone can able to have these type of lifestyle and start doing from that, definitely we can able to see a huge change in coming years.
Definitely, a lot of learnings, from what you are saying, as well, just driving it internally first as an org, and then penetrating into, like, first our households, and then looking at the bigger picture. So great. Thank you so much for sharing this. Great. Just shifting the discussion now to something that both Christopher, Shweta have touched upon, is management of, like, internal stakeholders. So companies leading on sustainability recognize the role that their human capital strategy plays in developing an innovative and resilient workforce that shares common sustainability goals. Right, Shweta, how aligned is Amazon on this strategy?
I think very aligned, to be honest. It's literally at the heart and center of everything that we do. Our employees are super critical to our mission, and our mission is to be the Earth's most customer-centric company. And so what that really means is that we are building a strong culture and investing in our people, and that in turn attracts diverse, innovative workforce. which we need, very important to exceed our customer expectations, not just today, but well into the future. One of the pillars that we are leveraging here is, and the focus is on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it is really a cornerstone of our continued success and a critical component of our culture. So diversity lies everywhere for us. Like, our customers are as diverse as you can get, right? It spans across all segments of gender, race, etc. And diverse perspectives really helps us push each other here at Amazon to think bigger and to think differently about all the products and services that we build for our diverse customers. So we really take this very seriously, and our commitment to respect and value people from all backgrounds, including gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, and disability, is what we look at. At Amazon, and I'll share this, our definition of inclusion is being valued, trusted, connected, and informed so that we can deliver the best results for our customers. So we really use this definition to create people-centric initiatives like mentorship programs. We have a lot of affinity groups based on people's preferences. And all of these really ultimately delivers, the people-centric culture that we're looking for. Another aspect that kind of emphasizes the all-important human capital is employee engagement. And Christopher talked a little bit about employee engagement through encouraging sustainable lifestyles. One of the things that we believe at Amazon is consistent, honest, and really open communication. And we really encourage this across the board of employees within the organization. And we feel that it really dramatically increases workplace experience. It empowers people to raise concerns and have them addressed directly by our leadership. One of the ways in which this is done is through voice of employees, and we have a program called Connections. So the first thing that happens when I turn on my computer for the day's work is a pop-up, and it's not an annoying ad, but it's really a connections question, from the team at Amazon, which asks me questions in real time, and it receives my feedback on a number of topics, right from inclusion to a whole lot of other focus areas for us. And this feedback mechanism is really designed to listen and learn from all employees across the world and at scale, and that really helps in improving employee experiences. So the feedback from these mechanisms goes into curating programs that address employee engagement. So yeah, these are some of the ways. Just reiterating, human capital is super important. We wouldn't be where we are without them. So we continue to prioritize them.
Great. Thank you again, for sharing that. That's great insight and a lot of learning as well, right? Of course, for corporates, but also for non-profits here in our audience today, who is looking for suggestions on how they can look at supporting corporates. So definitely very, very helpful there. Thank you. Christopher, just flipping the question, the same question for you. So I'll repeat it once. With companies leading on sustainability, recognize the critical role that the human capital strategy plays in developing an innovative and resilient workforce that shares common sustainable goals. What more can organizations do to essentially, drive these strategies?
In case of a volunteer engagement, companies are so much are active in this field, because for every even the NGOs who have been implementing that, without the human capital from organizations, it is not possible to fully successful in these things. So they have been the key role players, starting from every different types of activities. They have been actively participating in everything. And we have been able to get a lot of inputs from them in order to take our projects as well as to the next level. What I feel like in organizations, like the thing is, like an organization has to give more space for them to speak out their thoughts on sustainability. I'm so happy to know that Shweta ma'am told about the feedback systems and everything. So that is what exactly I was thought of saying about, because the people, the human capital, they have been very good in the business related works, all the creatives and working. Definitely, if they're going to be give a huge option for them to give a space on the different ideas, as well as brainstorming sessions and everything, they can able to come up with different new activities and different new initiatives which can really make a huge impact in this change in our goal of changing our world. So what through my experiences, through the friends and the people who have been volunteering with us, that space is not that much in all the organizations. So that space has to be given for them. That openness from the leadership team has to be given to all the employees, because I'm able to see there are people who are very well experts from agriculture field, from different fields, working in a top IT companies. They know everything on how to do things. So there are people who taught us even how to do certain things regarding agriculture and everything. But did they get the space in their organization to drive an initiative or everything? That is not that much to that extent. So I feel that organization should try same like how they handle the business. They should be able to give the space for them to drive, come up with their ideas, work on this, give them an opportunity to trial and fail it out. Because even us, every one of us, we will try it out, we will fail it, and we will learn from the mistakes, and we will go on to the next level. So same like that, this space is given. Definitely, the impact which is they going to create for their organization as well as for the environment is going to be a huge change. So that's it.
Yeah, definitely. There is always scope for corporates to engage more, and I completely agree with you. The feedback, the continuous communication with the top level management will, definitely be a good stepping stone for bigger projects to basically make way for bigger projects on these lines. Great. We're almost on time. Just one last question from us before we open the floor. If our audiences have any questions for our panelists. So Shraddha, how is volunteering being used to support the driving of intentions to actions at Amazon?
Thanks for the question. I love this one. I think it's something I've been passionate about for a very long time. Always never missed an opportunity to volunteer where possible. Something that I didn't talk about in my introduction was I decided to take 2 years off from my professional journey to join a nonprofit in the education sector. And for me, even though, there were, I just feel that that's a kind of a long-term volunteering commitment to speak. So very, very important in really crystallizing, as you said, intentions into actions, right? And the way that we do this at Amazon is in a couple of ways. The first one, which I'm very passionate about, is obviously sustainability. So we have a network of Amazon volunteers, and it's who participate in a sustainability ambassadors program. And this is really a grassroots organization aimed at driving awareness and building a culture of sustainability that really supplements all the sustainability work that we do from a business perspective. So when we have people on the ground accepting and acknowledging that sustainability is important, it also translates into the way that they work. So this is a very key pillar, and we have engagements, sustainability ambassador chapters across the world. There are two types of chapters that we have. Obviously, we have fulfillment centers. So our operation sites is one, where sustainability work really has impact on things like energy efficiency, waste, things like that. We also have employees that sit out of our corporate offices, right? And so we also have a corporate sustainability ambassador program to also drive, and what Christopher talked about, the sustainable lifestyle. I think that's a way in which we engage employees and help them drive programs at all our corporate offices. So very key pillars in building awareness and making sustainability a practice for everybody. Another way in which we're looking at volunteering is external focused, because we operate in communities and we also want to create an impact and take communities along with us. So we have Amazon in the community, as well as community engagement programs that leverages the skills that our employees have. And we use that to contribute to the larger good of the communities. So for example, during COVID, we leveraged the expertise in our logistics, and we mobilized a task force that comprised of employee volunteers to source, transport, and deliver critical essential medical equipment from across the world to hospitals in India through Mission Vayu. We also have community engagement programs, that focus on sustainability and clean energy just beyond our own premises. We've donated solar energy systems to government schools. We drive awareness around water conservation and waste management as well. And finally, I think a really important one, and this is where we partner on this, is leveraging technology platforms. We work with Goodera to curate volunteering opportunities and to capture these volunteering efforts. And we're currently in the process of customizing user experience, etc., to further enhance this program. So very well received by everyone in the organization, and we have dedicated volunteering hours allocated, so people can actually go out there and do their bit for the community.
Great. I mean, no words in terms of how we can, as an organization, engage our employees to essentially drive the change. So extremely, extremely interesting to know how industry leaders think when it comes to, leveraging engagement essentially to create impact. Great. Just last question for you as well, Christopher. Just changing it a bit. So, we heard from Amazon essentially what volunteering support is. How can volunteering support the driving of intentions to actions at workplaces? Would we do partner on certain volunteering opportunities, but essentially, what's your take on this? How can we support organizations to driving that change?
Okay. As I told you, like both the leadership team of corporates as well as the NGOs, we have ideas, we have visions, and we have goals. The volunteering, the human capital, both in from a corporate volunteering engagement as well as the individual publics who volunteer, they are the key players who give us strength to achieve those things. So there are times like there will be huge tasks which we need a huge workforce as well as huge time to complete it. That time the force of people which came together with only single thought in order to serve the society, that made a huge difference in the society for the past so many years. And also the organizations has been supporting their volunteer engagement in a so well manner. They are giving a comp-offs, they are insisting the volunteers to go on the field during or even in the business hours. So that is something which very encouraging from the organization side for the betterment of our society. So going forward, this type of recently in COVID, it has really affected very badly the volunteer engagement activities. But still, all the companies are coming back and they're bouncing back, and they want the volunteers to be on the field. So there are volunteers we are able to see that who comes as a corporate volunteers and they turn it into a NGO volunteers, as well as they started doing in different spaces. They've been able to get us the different leads of and they're able to go to their own places and make a change. Because the volunteering, they'll come and learn from ourselves as well as things, because you can able to see like CSR activities. Mostly like most of the CSR activities mostly concentrated more on like in urban areas. So, but the volunteer engagement, the people who come there are driving it and taking it outside of the areas. They are going to their own villages, they are going to the whole nearby villages and everything, and they are driving this from their end. So that is something which is it's a great thing, because those are areas which even the companies cannot go, even some NGOs cannot go. But as an individual, they take it in their head. They start their initiative from their self, and they take it to the next level. This volunteering is not just something. It is like mandatory for them to just spend the time or doing something for the society. They are taking it to the next level, even which we cannot imagine. So as time goes, like we should try to encourage more of volunteering thing, keeping the safety protocols, the COVID protocols there. So that will be really a great thing going forward. And also, like with Goodera, we like even Tokam have been doing a lot of virtual volunteering activities. So that really shows that how every human is interested to do something for the society. So the only thing is like we have to give them a chance. We have to make them as a in the social sector persons who have been leading this in social sector. We have to make them a space, and we have to bring them a platform where they can able to contribute. So I hope we are doing it to the extent we can. I hope we can do it more. Thank
Great.
you.
I'm glad, all our hopes are aligned there. So definitely scope to increase engagement, of course, simultaneously impact. Uh, thank you both, for sharing this insight on. We've touched upon different areas, in sustainability itself and engagement. Now, just opening the floor for questions from our audiences. Just, there was a question that had previously come in. Shweta, just, we can start from you on this, that there is obviously a perception of added costs when it comes to sustainability, right? How does one get in, like the buy-in from the business to essentially validate, say, these additional costs?
Very, very pertinent question, and it's something that we face on a pretty much a daily basis as part of the sustainability team. Oftentimes, I think in most cases, typically a sustainability initiative does have cost efficiencies. When you think about minimizing waste, or recycling waste, you're actually cutting costs, you're driving cost efficiencies. Whereas other initiatives that are more capital, like capex intensive, like installing a renewable energy project, investing in electrification of your fleet, etc. And the way that we look at this in Amazon is really from a long-term lens, because we feel this is not a short-term goal. We are in this for the long term, and therefore we look at it over a longer period of time. And while cost is one of the benefits, the other benefits that we also look at are environmental benefits. Does it have a social impact, etc.? So viewing it not just purely from an economics perspective, but also looking at the other aspects is the way that we look and evaluate programs for their success and implementation.
Definitely, almost makes you rethink that, is it essentially an added cost, or, when we look in the bigger scheme of things, it really counters and validates the need for these initiatives. So yeah, thank you, Shweta. Christopher, taking this to you, I'm sure when we speak of, initiatives in this space of environment sustainability, I'm sure, you are also faced with this dilemma of added costs that, businesses have to pick up when it comes to these initiatives. What say would be, what is your take on this, or how do you counter, such perceptions?
Yeah, now come adding to this, like initially, if you can see, like 10 years before, planting is the only thing which everyone has been doing. Now, people started focusing on what is the maintenance of that. Because we are focused on impact. The cost which is incurred for some cases, the cost for the maintenance as well as cost for the sustaining it and getting an impact is huge compared to the initial cost.
Mhm.
I feel like the companies started understanding the field realities everywhere, and once we produce us with the proper logical statements and logical concepts, and they have been understanding and they have been open, and they are started sponsoring for all those things. So this cost is something, both the case of inflation as well as in order to maintain, it is something which is difficult for everyone to bear it out. But still, people are not stopping it up. So that is something which we can able to proud of. So though the scale of initiatives or the scale of thing it has been little bit reduced comparatively, but still we are moving forward. So that is what which is be important about it. I hope definitely we will find different ways to cut these costs and make it more efficient, both in terms of like projects which NGOs are coming up with social projects, as well as the companies can able to go work on the cost efficiently in different ways. Though they can allocate these budgets for the sake of sustainability. So by doing this, uh, definitely the thing is like we are moving forward. So I hope we will be doing it better.
Yeah. Great. I'm getting a lot of questions for Amazon, Shweta. We have one question coming in that says, do you include electric cargo bikes into your vehicle conversations, and how important can that be?
So to address that, we have different forms of transportation. We have two-wheelers, we have three-wheelers, we have four-wheelers, we even fly our products around. And the way that we're looking and addressing sustainability and electrification is across the board, right? Obviously, given the technology maturity, we will go with what is feasible. Two-wheelers have already made a mark. They're already out on the roads. Four-wheelers and three-wheelers also are entering the market. So naturally, we target those, but we do have our eyes on the longer thing, the more important ones like aviation, etc. So globally, we've also made efforts towards that. But to address this specific conversation, absolutely, it's an integral part of our decarbonization strategy and electrification strategy. So we hope we don't leave any form of transport that we utilize currently behind. So everyone's on board.
Yeah. Great, thank you. We actually have one more question, and I feel, of course, Christopher can also weigh in on this. It says, do you also encourage your vendors on sustainable practices and towards making more conscious choices in business? It is imperative for large enterprises like yours to accelerate such practices with partners as well. What are your thoughts on this? Of course, Shweta, you have spoken about how you support with, zero waste packaging. Just in continuation to that, if you'd like to share your thoughts.
So we obviously have a vast network of suppliers and vendors that we work with, and their supply chains in turn has an impact on us. So when you look at just overall carbon footprint reporting, emissions from scope 3, which is the upstream and downstream procured services and products, has an impact, and therefore it's very, very material to our sustainability charter. And the way that we do this is obviously include everyone in our value chain. We obviously prioritize the ones that have the most material impact on our carbon footprint, work with them, collaborate with them to drive sustainable practices. We obviously have a lot of learnings from our own journey, and we're very happy, and we do share those best practices with smaller vendors. I've talked about the climate pledge very early on, and the climate pledge is, again, it's agnostic. It's open to anyone who's willing to commit to being net zero. And we've seen over the past couple of years since we've launched this, along with Global Optimism, that a lot of our suppliers and vendors have joined our climate pledge, thereby pledging to transform their own businesses to be net zero and on a sustainable path. So that's how we're starting to move the needle on the larger supply chain.
Yeah, great. Just again, very, very interesting to see how a single organization is driving huge, essentially groundbreaking initiatives when we look at these very visible initiatives, that a customer can also feel in their house. So yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing that. We've had a pretty stimulating and insightful conversation today, but unfortunately, we're almost out of time. So, I'll just request our panelists to get in the final remarks. Just, starting with you, Christopher, what would be that one takeaway from you, from Thuvakam, to our audiences today?
From Tuakam, as we always say, like be the change. Saying is like there are so many people who have to start the journey in sustainability as well as social service. The only thing is the pending is like they have to start it out. So they will be keep on waiting to start that. So what I can say everyone is like it is not something which is like people say that they don't have time and they don't have things to start this journey and everything. But it is not something which is new or some new business or nothing, something different. This is something which is part of your life. You don't want to think globally and how to do a global how to find a solution for a climate change. Just find a small solution from your starting from your home. That is a thing because that is which we more focus on, which we always believe in that. So let the change begin from yourself. There are costs involved in this. There are a lot of things which is involved in that. But every point of life or every even if you for your official growth and everything is involved. But definitely in future that will definitely give a huge benefit to you as well as your future generation. So let's start today. Let's not wait for another day. Let's start today. Be a small part in this world, so that that will help for your future to be better in this society.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christopher. Definitely a message to take home today. Start, the change from your own homes. And that's also something that we as Goodera also believe in, right? So this is something that we also do, like on a weekly basis, we ourselves volunteer. And thanks to your organization, I myself have, learned a bit of kitchen gardening. Uh, uh, so decomposition, just using our own home base to create manure. So great, thank you so much for that. Same question for you, Shweta. One takeaway for our audiences today.
I just want to comment on Christopher's thing about starting small, right? And I talked about how at Amazon we leverage our scale to create impact. I just feel that scale can mean anything. It can be you as an individual, and therefore your scale to create impact, or it can be for as an organization as large as us to again further influence our ecosystem and therefore bring about change through that. But for me, like the underlying takeaway would really be that the climate crisis is daunting one. It's looming. It's inevitable. However, I want to cling on to staying hopeful. And challenging status quo is difficult. It can also be lonely, but the way to really overcome that would really be through collective action. We've seen that it's effective in Amazon. And therefore, we strongly believe that the way forward in making meaningful change is through collective action. So let's work together.
Great.
Sure.
just great takeaways. So I think my two big takeaways is one, of course, collective action, and the second is, of course, starting small, starting from your homes. I would like to thank both Shweta and Christopher so much. It's been an honor speaking with both of you today, getting an insight into the great work that you are doing to encourage sustainability and also secure our planet's future is extremely inspiring. Before we go, I'd also like to thank our wonderful audience who took out time off their day to attend this. Hopefully, we have inspired you as well to begin, driving the change from intentions to actions at your workplace. You can let us know in the poll on your screens now on how you liked our webinar. Just taking a word from our webinar's theme, the land down under is now the land on fire, and the Arctic is the new Mediterranean. This is our only chance to act boldly, innovate broadly, and implement equitably. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much,
Gopika.
Gopika.
Thank you, Sweta.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.